Today, we're getting into something really personal, something that touches on digital life and, well, identity, how to maintain your privacy online when you're exploring cross-dressing. Whether it's a hobby, self-expression, maybe core to who you are, keeping that exploration private online. That's crucial. And I think many of us have had that weird experience, right? You're looking at, I don't know, dresses, maybe lingerie, some amazing shoes online. And then suddenly ads for those exact things are everywhere, following you on totally different websites.
Uncanny sometimes.
It really is. And I've heard stories. And yeah, I've had that heart-stopping moment myself where like a family member sees one of those ads over your shoulder. It leaves you feeling kind of shaken. It shows how easily things can leak out. So that's our mission for this deep dive. Find simple, effective ways to cut down on those risks. We're talking private browsing, sure, but also clearing caches, blocking cookies, really minimizing that footprint so your exploration stays yours.
It's such a common thing, and honestly, this kind of tracking happens no matter what you're looking at. It's just how the modern web works, really. Everything we do online, clicks, scrolls, even just hovering, it leaves traces. It's not just ads, it's this whole digital picture being painted of you.
Invisible tracking, almost.
Pretty much. It's not just what you click, it's how long you stay on a page, how you scroll, even like the specific software setup on your device, it all adds up. But, and this is the important part, the good news is you can do something about it. There are definitely steps you can take to stop that private browsing stuff from, spilling over into your everyday online life.
Okay, let's really unpack that then. We hear about cookies, tracking pixels, the usual suspects. But for listeners who are maybe a bit past the basics, what are the sneakier ways these ad networks connect the dots? Is it just IP addresses or is it, I don't know, more complex than that?
Yeah, it gets deeper. So cookies, those little text files, they're definitely key, but it's way bigger than just that. Think about your browser itself, kind of broadcasting unique signals, not just your IP address, your computer's address online, basically, but things like your screen size, the fonts you have installed, even the specific browser extensions you use, and their order.
Really? The order of extensions?
Yep, it creates this this device fingerprint. It's surprisingly unique and can track you even without cookies sometimes. And then there's cross-device tracking. You log into Google on your phone, right?
Sure.
Then you see ads related to your phone browsing later on your laptop, even if you weren't logged into Google there.
Oh, yeah, that happens all the time. Creepy.
That's it. The big platforms link your activity across all your gadgets. So browsing for heels one night
can mean shoe ads for a week. On your work machine, the family tablet, everywhere. The internet's got this memory, doesn't it?
It really does. If you're showing your partner something totally random online and bam, an ad for like size 12 stilettos pops up.
Yikes.
Or worse, you're screen sharing in a work meeting.
Oh, no.
And there's an ad for plus-size pantyhose right there in the sidebar.
Mortifying.
Totally. Or your kid borrows a laptop and is like, hey, why are there all these ads for wigs? It sounds funny maybe later, but in the moment, it causes real stress, maybe even conflict.
Yeah, the anxiety is real.
So knowing how deep this tracking goes, what's the first immediate thing we can do? The tools built right into our browsers.
Good question. The easiest, most accessible first step is private browsing. Chrome calls it incognito mode. Firefox has private window. Edge uses in private. Safari, private browsing. Opera, private window. Different names, same basic idea.
Right. It creates a temporary session. Doesn't save your history, doesn't keep cookies from that session long term, doesn't hold on to cache files once you close that window.
Okay.
So the sites you visit, not in your history list, logins, they end when you close the window. Those specific session cookies, gone. It cuts down a lot on targeted ads from that specific session.
That sounds pretty good.
It is, but, and this is important, it's not like a magic invisibility cloak.
Ah, okay. The catch.
Right. It doesn't hide your IP address from the websites themselves. Your internet provider can still see where you're going. And if you download something, well, it's still downloaded to your computer.
Got it. So good first step, but not foolproof.
Exactly. Strong first line of defense against local tracking, though. Big difference maker.
Okay. That makes sense. Knowing the limits is key. But let's be real. Sometimes you forget. You browse something sensitive, then realize, oops, wasn't in private mode. What's the quick cleanup? Like the digital equivalent of wiping the counter. And if you're in a rush, what's the absolute must-delete stuff?
The main thing is clearing your browsing data. History, cache, and cookies. The cache is just Temporary files websites store to load faster next time. Useful, but it leaves a record.
Right.
And cookies, we know, store info about what you did on sites. If you don't clear them, they just build up more data for the ad networks.
Okay, so history, cache, cookies, the big three.
Yep. And finding where to clear them is usually pretty simple. Look in settings or options, then privacy and security, and find something like clear browsing data. You can usually choose what to clear. Definitely hit history, cookies, and cached files. The real trick is making it a habit. After a session browsing, them stuff, take 10 seconds, clear the data, saves a lot of potential worry later on.
Okay, so we've got the quick cleanup and the session-specific ghost mode. But what about making our browser generally more private, like by default, even when we're not in private mode, building up the defenses?
Yeah, you can definitely make your regular browsing more robust. A big one is blocking third-party cookies in your browser settings.
Ah, the third-party ones. Those are the trackers, right?
Exactly. They're the cookies set by domains other than the site you're actually visiting. Think ad networks, analytics companies, they're the main ones that follow you from site to site. Blocking them is a huge step.
Okay, block third-party cookies. What else?
You'll probably see an option for do not track. Now, full disclosure, websites don't have to honor it. It's more of a request.
So hit or miss?
A bit. But hey, it doesn't hurt to turn it on. Adds another signal that you prefer privacy. Some browsers also let you set site-specific permissions.
Ooh.
Like, you're about to check out a few specific clothing stores, you could go into settings and tell your browser, don't accept any cookies from these specific sites. Gives you really fine-grained control.
That's pretty powerful, actually. Okay, good baseline settings. Now, what if you want to go further? Really make those private browsing moments, like almost invisible to the ad trackers, the advanced stuff.
Right. For stepping up your game, there are several layers you can add. One really effective strategy: use a completely separate browser for cross-dressing activities.
Like Chrome for everyday, Firefox for fem browsing.
Exactly like that. Your history, cookies, logins, they stay totally separate. No crossover.
Simple but effective.
Or, if you want to stick with one browser, create separate user profiles within it.
Like having a work profile and a personal one.
Precisely. Most browsers let you do this. You could have your main profile and then a fem profile. Its own bookmarks, maybe its own extensions, separate logins. Just make sure you password protect that second profile.
Good point. Keep it secure. What else? VPNs. Ad blockers.
Yep. VPNs, virtual private networks. People know them for security or getting around geoblocks, but they also hide your real IP address.
Right, masks your location.
And by doing that, it makes it much harder for ad networks to tie your browsing directly back to you and your location. It cuts down on certain types of tracking, not all, but some.
Okay, another layer.
And then ad blockers, things like uBlock Origin or AdGuard. They don't just hide ads, they block the connections that deliver them. And since many ads rely on tracking cookies,
Blocking the ad blocks the tracker too.
often, yes, they work really well with private browsing, not instead of, but alongside. Adds another strong layer of defense against those footprints.
Okay, lots of tools there. Separate browser profile, VPN, ad blocker. That's getting pretty comprehensive. So after all that, what's the ultimate, the gold standard for maximum privacy, total peace of mind?
If you want the absolute best separation, the only truly foolproof method, it's using a completely separate device,
Okay.
like a different laptop or a dedicated tablet, even just a specific smartphone you only use for this.
I see. Complete physical separation.
Exactly. Pair that separate device with its own unique email address, maybe a separate browser login profile just for that device. And you've basically created a digital island, totally walled off from your everyday digital life.
That makes sense. It's obviously an investment, though.
It is, absolutely. There's a cost involved. But for a lot of people, the sheer peace of mind that comes with knowing there's zero chance of crossover, it's worth it.
I can totally see that. And honestly, taking this stuff seriously, it makes such a difference. I remember years ago, before I really understood all this, I had my own wake-up call.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Late night browsing, looking at dresses online, added a couple to a cart, didn't buy anything. Next day, I'm on a sports news site, totally unrelated, and boom, banner ad. That was it for me. That's when I realized how leaky the internet really is if you're not careful. And since then, taking all these steps we've talked about, it works. I haven't seen a single cross-dressing related ad pop up in my normal, vanilla browsing life in years. So for everyone listening, let's just recap that as a quick checklist. Before browsing, Always try to open that private or incognito window first and check your settings. Make sure block third-party cookies is on.
Good start.
During browsing, stay logged out of main accounts, Google, Facebook, whatever. Maybe fire up that VPN or make sure your ad blocker's running
Smart.
after browsing. If you forgot private mode, clear history, cache, cookies, definitely close all those private windows when you're done. And long-term, think about using a separate browser or profile just for this. And maybe, if it works for you, save up for that separate device.
Excellent summary. And maybe just a couple extra quick tips. Watch out for autofill. You know, when your browser fills in your name and address, double check it's not using your main details if you're buying femme items on a site for the first time.
Good catch. Easy mistake to make.
Also, think about email. Maybe set up a separate email address just for femme shopping, newsletters, forums. Keeps your main inbox clean and untracked for this stuff.
Compartmentalize.
And finally, just be cautious on shared devices. Family computer, library computer, even private browsing isn't totally isolated there. Best to avoid it for sensitive browsing if you can. Look, being a crossdresser online today, it's easier in some ways, right? Access to communities, shopping, info.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's trickier too because of all this tracking we talked about. Every click matters. But using these strategies, private browsing, clearing data, maybe that separate browser or device, it gives you back control. They're not just tech tips. They're ways to empower yourself, you know? To explore who you are with confidence without worrying about leaving those digital breadcrumbs everywhere.
That's exactly it. Empowerment and control.
And it really brings up a bigger question, doesn't it? In this world where exploring our deepest interests online leaves such detailed traces, how do we find that balance? The balance between the amazing convenience of the internet and our fundamental right to privacy. Maybe the question for you, listening right now, is what active steps can you take starting today to really reclaim your own digital autonomy, to own your online space?
Exactly. It's your journey. Explore privately, explore it safely. Take these steps, feel empowered, and keep those digital footprints where you want them. Make your digital life truly your own.